Today we are covering indefinite pronouns and compound subjects, specifically with the words either or neither. We're covering this because there has been some confusion. We have said things like every one body, either, neither, each thing is singular. However, sometimes we have either or as well as neither nor, in which case we're usually looking at the second subject or the subject closest to the verb. That can be really confusing. So we're going to be practicing that today. As we go through our sentences, we'll be doing what we usually do in these circumstances. We'll be putting parentheses around prepositional phrases that come between our subject and verb. We'll be bolding anything that has or nor. We will be highlighting our subjects in yellow, labeling them singular or plural, and labeling our correct verb with the highlight color green. Let's go ahead and start. So I think it'd be best to quickly nail out all of our prepositional phrases and all of our ors or nors. So let's look at number one. I see either, but there is no or, which means either is my subject. So I need to get rid of my prepositional phrase, which is of the bracelets. Number two says neither, but there's no nor. So neither is my subject. What is the prepositional phrase? Of my friends. Then I get to number three. I see neither. Oh, and then I see nor. So that's what we need to be paying attention to. Double click on nor, 1, 2, hold down your control key on your keyboard, and hit B for bold. Now nor is bolded. Number 4, either magazines or newspapers. I have either, but there is an or with it, so that's what we're focused on. Double click on or and bold it. Control B. Number 5 has neither, so I'm going to go check for nor. Oh, there it is. Bold nor. Number 6, I have either, there's no or, which means I have a prepositional phrase in here most likely. What is our prepositional phrase? Of the utensils. So we're putting parentheses around of the utensils. Why do we put parentheses around our prepositional phrases? That's because a lot of times we as students or people tend to think that utensils is our subject when in fact it is not. It's the object of the preposition. Prepositional phrases can be taken out of a sentence and the sentence still makes sense. Either works or work well with the potatoes. So we put those parentheses around it to remind ourselves nothing in here can be our subject, and we could actually take this whole little group of words and remove it from our sentence. Number 7, I see either, and then I see or. Bold or. Number 8, I see neither, but then I see nor. Bold nor. Number 9, I see neither, but it just says of my parents. So what is my prepositional phrase? Of my parents. Parentheses around of my parents. Number 10, our neighbor or our grandparents. This time there is no either or neither, so it seems a little bit tricky. However, we did find an or in this sentence, so go ahead and bold or. Number 11, neither music nor balloons. Since we found a nor, we are going to bold that. Uh-oh, we haven't seen this. We are starting with a verb this time. Usually we're starting with either or neither. So in this case, we just look right after the verb. And here's my either. Is there an or with this? Either of the twins lied about her identity. No, there's not, which means there might be a prepositional phrase. Is there? Yes, there is. Of the twins. Now you might ask, Mrs. Sabinas, why is the verb first? It's because it's a question. That's why. This can also happen if there's an inverted sentence, but in this situation, it's because it's a question. Number 13, neither lions nor cheetahs. Since I see nor, bold that. Number 14 and 15 look very similar. They both just have either or neither with the verb right next to it. So the good news is we know there's no or, we know there's no nor, and there's also no prepositional phrase between our subject and verb since they're right next to each other. So we can skip past those. 16, neither of the desks. There's no nor. So what's my prepositional phrase? Of the desks. Put parentheses around of the desks. 17, either the point guard or the power forward. I saw either with an or, so I bold or. 18, neither of the escaped elephants. There's no nor with the word neither. So what's my prepositional phrase? Of the escaped elephants. So we're putting parentheses around of the escaped elephants. Number 19, either personal letters or packages. I have either, but I see or with it. So we are going to bold or. And then number 20 is very similar to what we saw in number 12, where our verb comes first. So we can look right afterward and we see either. Either apartment have 2 bathrooms. There's no or with it, and there is no prepositional phrase. So we can leave that one the way it is. Now we're going to go to the top and label all of our subjects. And we do that by highlighting them in yellow. And if you look at example 1, when neither was by itself, that was our subject. Just like we said, every one body, either, neither, each thing is singular. Neither by itself is singular. Then when we have our nors, we do have 2 subjects here, pen, pencils. However, when we have 2 like that, we have to figure out which one we're actually labeling as singular or plural, because if I said you could have a pen or a pencil, you can't have both, it's one or the other. So then we have to ask ourselves, which one do we choose? It's usually the second subject, but the real rule is it's the one closest to the verb. Pencils is closest to our verb option. All right, let's go ahead and start doing that. So number 1, there was no or with this. Either is our subject. So we're going to double click that, 1, 2, go to our highlighter and choose yellow. Then we're going to turn on our roller brush or paint format option. You click it twice, 2 times really quickly. 1, 2. If it's blue, you know that it's on. Number 2, there was no nor in this sentence, so neither is a subject all by itself. 3, 4, and 5, however, all have nor or. When that's the case, there are still 2 subjects. We just label one of them. So our subjects are coach and players. Notice I didn't add the. We just want the simple subject or simple noun. Number 4, what are our 2 subjects? Magazines, newspapers. Number 5, bowling, tennis. Number 6, either is all by itself, which means either is our subject. Numbers 7 and 8 have or and nor, so we're going to find our subjects. 7's a little bit tricky because it has blue shirt, pink shirt, but we're still only going to be choosing our simple subject or simple noun, shirt, on both sides. Number 8, what are our 2 subjects? Drinks, food. Number 9, neither is all by itself, which means neither is your subject. Number 10, what are our 2 subjects? Since there's an or, neighbor, grandparents. 11 has nor. What are our 2 subjects? Music, balloons. Number 12, either is all by itself. So either is our subject. 13 has nor, so there are 2. What are our 2? Lions, cheetahs. Numbers 14 and 15 have either and neither all by themselves, so those are our subjects. How about number 16? Neither is all by itself. So what's the answer? Neither is our subject. 17, I see or, which means there are 2. We have either the point guard, the power forward. We just want the simple subject or simple noun. So guard, forward. Number 18, neither is all by itself, so we know that means neither is our subject. 19, I see or, so there are 2. We have letters, packages. We do not include personal. That's considered an adjective. It's not part of the simple subject. And then 20, our subject is either all by itself. There was no or a prepositional phrase. All right, I'm going to shut off my roller brush by clicking it 1 time. And now we need to label our subjects as singular or plural. When either, as we see in example 1, or neither, is all by itself, it is always singular. Every one body, either, neither, each thing is singular. So what I'm going to do is go down my list, and every time I see either or neither by themselves, I'm going to automatically label them as singular. So 1 and 2 right away, I see either, neither highlighted, so those are singular. 3, 4, and 5 does not have just either and neither highlighted, but 6 does. So go ahead and just go all the way down your list and find them by themselves and label them as singular. They will be singular every single time. Now, I'm not labeling 16 through 20, but you do have to do that. I want to make sure that you can actually do this on your own. So make sure you complete 16 through 20 on your own. Now let's go back and label the ones that have or nor. Usually this is your second subject, but remember the rule is actually that you follow the one that's closest to the verb. Players. It's players, singular or plural. Plural. Newspapers is second and closest to the verb. Newspapers is what? Plural. Tennis is our second subject and it's closest to the verb. Is tennis singular or plural? It's one sport. Singular. 7. Shirt is second and it's closest to the verb. Shirt is singular. Food is second and it's closest to the verb. Is food singular or plural? Food is singular. Number 10, grandparents is the second subject and it's closest to the verb. Is grandparents singular or plural? Plural. 11, balloons is second and closest to the verb. Is balloons singular or plural? Plural. 13, cheetahs is closest to our verb and it's second. Cheetahs is plural. Cheetah would be singular. Cheetahs is plural. We already labeled 14 and 15. Remember, you are labeling 16 through 20 on your own. Now, the last thing we have to do is choose the correct verb, which is pretty easy for us because we've already figured out that if we label our subject as S for singular, that's literally telling you to choose one that ends with S. For example, number 3, we put P for plural, which is not an S, so we choose the verb that does not end in S. So you should be choosing look. So let's go ahead and start. Number 1, we know has an S, so we're going to choose goes. Click on goes 2 times, 1, 2. Highlight color green, and then our format paintbrush, 1, 2. Neither has an S, so that tells us choose the option that ends with S. Likes ends with S. Number 3, label says P for plural. That's not an S, so we choose the verb that does not end in S. Look. So what should we choose for 4? Were. What should we choose for 5? Interests with an S, because we labeled this with an S. Number 6, either was labeled with an S. That tells us to choose the one that ends with S. Works. Same thing for 7, 8, and 9. Has an S, choose the one that ends with S. Number 10, we labeled this with a P for plural, so that's not an S, so I choose the one that does not end with S. Are. 11, P for plural, not an S, choose the one that does not end in S. Cheer. Number 12, S for singular, choose the one that ends with S. Has. 13, P for plural, which is not an S, so I choose the one that does not end in S. Make. 14 and 15 are both labeled S for singular, so I choose the verb that ends with S. You need to finish 16 through 20 on your own. I will be checking for those answers to make sure you could do these on your own. So do your best. If you have any questions, I'm on GoGuardian, but I'm also in our live meet. Once you have finished your guided practice, you need to go to your assignment and complete your assignment. If during your assignment you get confused about this, please go back and open up this guided practice because it will aid you and help you with your assignment. If you forget, if neither or either is by itself, what do I do? If there's an or nor, what do I do? This will help you.